Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne Sharp World, where we are standing in front of another Monday, or actually at this point, we're probably standing halfway through the day, or at the end of our Monday because I'm a little behind the game today, but nonetheless, it's that time of the week again. Wayne Sharp Week, highlighting the knives are going to be in my pocket for the next 5 or 6 days. Now, I got a little confession to make. Usually, I record my Wayne Sharp Weeks on Sunday night and just upload them first thing Monday morning. Got backed up on Sunday. Obviously can't do it Monday morning because I am a busy working man. So nonetheless, regardless, here we are, probably towards the end of most people's work days. And we've got another lineup for you guys. Let's take a look and see what we got. Before I do that, though, I want to give a quick shout out to all my sponsors, DLT Trading, Mojave Outdoor, and White Mountain Knives. Give these guys your business, give these retailers your business, because it is because of them I can continue to do what I do, and I greatly appreciate their support of my channel. Now let's get right into it. Let's take a look at the first one, and the first one is actually a White Mountain Knives exclusive. That is the Real Steel G-Frame, and this guy here is just an excellent gentlemanly style EDC. It's kind of like that casual gentleman's carry. It's got the full titanium handle with an S35 VN steel blade, an OSTAP held design, and just a very light and slim, but also very solid carry. I'm a big fan of this knife. It is obviously unique to White Mountain Knives, and it's just so good. This is based off of a slip joint design, and obviously they have put a flipper on it and made it a lot better, in my opinion. I'm not a big slip joint fan. It's just not quite my thing. I do actually have a couple, and I do kind of like them, but they just don't find their way into my pockets that often. This knife will, because it is just an excellent blade with excellent steel, and it just goes with anything. It's that neutral titanium finish, and it's just good. It just looks good. And it will definitely be in the pocket probably quite a bit this week. I think this one is going to get a little more time than the rest of the knives on my list, and for good reason. It's just, you put it in your pocket and you kind of forget it's there. Like I said, it's not heavy. I want to say it's 2 point something ounces, maybe 2.9, right around the upper 2s, the low 3s in terms of weight, but it's just so good, so smooth. That flipper flies the blade right out. Running on bearings. See if we can get a glimpse at those bearings. There they are. But no, nothing really to knock on this knife with the exception of just a little wiggle in the pocket clip. But at the end of the day, this is a user for me, so I'm fine with that. I don't notice it. It doesn't affect my terms of deployment. And if I ever want to get real fancy with this knife, I can front flip it, which is still pretty fun. If you have this knife, try front flipping it. Let me know if you can, because it is a little tricky. If you can front flip this knife, you can front flip anything, I'll tell you that. But this is just a very, very good piece. Like it a whole lot. The Real Steel White Mountain Knives exclusive G-frame. If you want one, go pick one up and use the code WSW10 to save 10% off. I believe this is $109, so it'll knock it down to right around $100 even. So for a titanium handle, frame lock, S35 VN steel blade, and very good action and quality build overall. Really, really hard to beat that $100 price tag. Next up, we have a knife that I recently reviewed and fell in love with. That is none other than the Kizer Horn. And I gotta say, guys, for $62, you are gonna be very hard pressed to find a knife better than this. So many things excel with this knife in terms of ergos, the jimping on all along the spine, the nice razor sharp blade coming in at 15 thousandths, the nice pocket clip that can carry left or right hand carry. You can remove the flipper tab. I'm not going to do it in this video, but if you go back to my review of this knife, you can see me do that, and that really opens up the ergos to use that choil even more. It's an awesome, awesome little knife, and it's been around for a good portion of this year, and I can't believe it took so long to find its way to my review table, but it has, and I like it so much. It's going to stick around in the rotation for quite a while. Such good, crisp, snappy action, very clicky. You get those good sounds. Just as fun to middle finger flick as it is regularly flip. And I in my review, I said I was going to take this flipper tab off, but I thought about it, and you know what? The flipping action is so good, and it doesn't get in your way when you are flicking it. So I was like, you know what? Why even take it off? Unless you're like a pure, all I do is middle finger flip my knives, then that's fine. Then take it off. But since I like to do both, and the action is so killer in either way, I'm just going to leave it on there because it doesn't bother me. And it's just, I could literally do this for another 10 minutes before I get bored. It's just such a good, effortless, smooth, super smooth opening action, and just everything about it is so solid. Still loving these micarta handles that are going to start to wear in more this week. It's going to get some good carry time, so the fraying you see up here, that'll start to wear away. And if there's a couple points that I'm not really touching with my hand, you know what? You just take a little oil, maybe a little Dremel or something, and knock them down. But regardless, still very, very few things I have to complain about this knife. It's just a good one. And for $62, again, I mean, it gets to a point when you're paying $62 for a knife, there's only so much you can really complain about it. This has all the solid build and blade centering and quality that you look for in any knife. It has that. So after that, it's really just, you get to be very nitpicky. And I'm not going to be nitpicky with this knife because I really like it a lot. And it has that Kizer quality. It has everything I look for in a Kizer and everything that I expect out of a Kizer now. Kizer is up there for me, guys. They're at the top of the budget knife food chain, in my opinion. There is not a better budget knife manufacturer than Kizer, in my opinion. Feel free to comment and tell me why I'm wrong, but I tell you, you're very hard pressed to beat a budget Kizer build, depending on of course, your definition of a budget knife. But for me, anything under $75 is pretty low cost. It's not, you're not going to find a lot of gems for $30, but you'll find a lot of really, really fantastic, great knives for that $40 to $65. And to me, that is a budget knife. And that's what this is, and it's a really good one, the Kizer Horn. Next up, we got one that you guys have seen a little already on the channel, and you're going to see a little more of it because I'm just having a real problem knocking this out of the rotation. This is the Finch Knife Company Devil's Finger, and this is by far and away the best Finch model that I've ever handled. I like a lot of Finch models. I really have not had one yet that I really disliked, but this one I like the most, and significantly more than the rest of them because of just the simple design. It's such a sleek, attractive design. And I said it in the review, this blade absolutely does look like a devil's finger. It's very, very hard to argue the name of this knife. They nailed it with this one. It's just got such an attractive, sleek drop point. Just the slightest swedge. That 154 cm steel is going to take a nice edge and sharpen up very easily. And pretty neutral ergos, but ergos that just work. They just feel real good in hand. You get that Finch grip with the jimping on the spine and flipper tab portion, and it just works very darn well. Really like this wire pocket clip that also was thought out very well. Goes over the pocket easily, has a little bit of a slight decline at the end of the ramp, so it feels really good in your hand. You don't feel the end of the ramp at all. Very, very smooth. Just feels great in action that is also really darn good. Again, nothing to really pick on this knife. That's why you keep seeing it. That is the Finch Knife Company Devil's Finger. And next up, got a couple premium carries. This one I have not had in my pocket for quite a while, and we are changing that this week. That is the ZT. No, that would be the Microtech Socom Elite. And man, this is probably my favorite Microtech knife. I know they're known for OTFs, but this is just too hard to beat for me. It's so good. The ergos are good. The blade is awesome. I wish it had a little thinner of an edge. It doesn't have the thinnest edge of all time. Probably, I'm going to say it's coming in at like 25 to 26,000, something like that. Probably a knife that would look really good having a regrind done. Just kind of taking off this portion, thinning it out a little, maybe even a hollow grind. That would be pretty sweet. But regardless, even as is, this is just a great knife, an excellent heavy user. Can't say I truly use this as an everyday heavy user because, you know, it's an expensive knife. I want to say it's $280 to $300, something like that. So it's not a cheap knife, but fully sourced and made in the U.S. down in North Carolina where Microtech does their manufacturing. So it's, you know, you can't, you know. Depends. Some people will. If you do, if you beat the hell out of your Microtech like they do on the YouTube channel or YouTube videos, then good for you. Maybe someday I'll come to that. But right now, I still just like using it as my regular little EDC that's going to cut open boxes and bags and whatnot. And yeah, I just don't have a very heavy use job. I mean, the worst thing I'm doing is cutting open a lot of boxes. So yeah, might get a lot of adhesive on the blade, but nothing that a little cleaner can't take off. So in terms of build and ergos and action, it's great. I mean, I could go through all this, but you're better off just watching the review of it. The middle finger flicking on the thumb stud is good, and really everything on it is very solid. Don't have a whole lot of complaints with it at all. I wish the pocket clip was tipped down, but other than that, that really is just about it. I could also maybe do without the glass breaker, but like I've said before in previous videos, someday I'm going to use that guy. I really want to put a glass breaker to use, but it's just hard to come up with a a legitimate reason to use a glass breaker, you know? But regardless, it comes just, it stays smooth. This is a knife that I haven't carried in a while, and it just flies right out with such force and authority. Definitely a knife that is made for the long haul and for quite the heavy use. And maybe I'll do that this week. Maybe I'll try and purposely look for a pretty hard task to throw at this guy. Maybe we'll cut up 50 cardboard boxes. I don't know. We definitely have plenty sitting around the house. So we'll see. That is the Microtech Socom Elite. And last but not least, we have one more, and that is the WIEsprit. And this is a Ray Laconico design. And when I reviewed this knife, I was a little critical of the price of it. I want to say the price was like $216, which I thought was a little high for a knife that is rather simple. In terms of the price, I still think it could be under $200. I still think it's a knife that should be under $200. But regardless, even after that, it's a knife that's still grown on me. I still really do like it, probably because it kind of matches my wedding ring, which is pretty sweet. I mean, look at that. Yeah, got the stonewashed titanium and carbon fiber. And what do you have here? Stonewashed 20, CPM 20 CV, I believe. Yes, CPM 20 CV, stonewashed titanium, marbled or kind of a marbled carbon fiber, like a marbled shred carbon fiber. But it just looks so good, and it's got that Ray Laconico design that is just simple but very elegant. It's a wider handle, so it fills the hand real well, and the blade is nice and thin and slicey. I want to say 16 or 17 thousandths behind the edge on this guy with a fully high flat grind along with the swedge right after that high flat grind. So the cutting geometry is going to be pretty good on this, and you're not going to have a whole lot of drag thanks to that immediate swedge after the high flat grind. So a lot of good things about this knife. An excellent pocket clip that is perfect in my opinion. It's fully recessed, screws and clip and all, and it even blends in with the handle. So it just looks really, really good. You have that contouring there, so it's nice and smooth in the hand. And in terms of action, it is fantastic as well. Thumb will kick it right out, as well as the middle finger. And then if you want, you can, of course, also front flip this guy. A lot better than what I just did. Just like that right there. And yes, it is indeed reach around approved. So there you go. That is the WIEsprit, and it's a very good one as well. And that wraps up this week's carry. So let's get them back out here on the table. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you're carrying. Let me know how your week's going, what you got lined up. I think this is the first full week of fall, too. I mean, maybe not based off the calendar, but in terms of actual temperature, I didn't sweat today, so that was a really good thing. Any day I can avoid sweating, it makes me happy, and breathe in some nice, cool, chilled, dry air. Really, really doing wonders for me. So I'm a happy guy. I hope everyone else is doing well. Hope you guys like my lineup. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you're carrying. I hope you enjoyed this one, and until the next one, I'm out.